of implementing a system like FASTag?
The average time for crossing a toll was calculated around 8 minutes, 8 minutes 43 seconds. And then this idea of FASTag came.
What happens behind those doors when such major decisions are being taken?
Technology per se was not a challenge. The challenge was the institutional.
Yeah.
And that institution comprises three major players, if I say. One was the concessionaire or the highway operators. Second were the banks. And third were the other players who were putting the system fail. The digital system does not fail because of technology. It fails because of institutions.
When we talk about road safety, there is a dream like Vikasit Bharat 2047. How does government ensure that there is a balance between the both?
Speed is okay, but if we, with a speed, we make unsafe road, then we are not making infrastructure.
Yes.
Rather, we are creating a deferred liability.
Yes.
3% of GDP is lost because of road fatalities in India.
What dream would you like to give the public, say when they are traveling on the roads of 2047? What can they expect? India is not just building roads anymore, it's building systems, digital highways, intelligent transport networks, AI driven infrastructure. But behind every dashboard, every FASTag scan, every smart corridor, there are decisions, trade offs, and governance architectures that never enter public conversation. Because infrastructure today is not just engineering, it's about data, policy, and systems design. Welcome to the Infra Dialogues, conversations that build the future. It is truly a privilege to welcome a leader who has been at the forefront of transforming how India designs, manages, and experiences its highway and mobility systems. Our guest today, Mr. Akhilesh Srivastava, is widely recognized as one of the key architects behind India's transition from conventional road infrastructure to intelligent technology driven mobility systems. From playing a pivotal role in implementing FASTag, the world's largest electronic tolling system, to advancing AI led traffic management, digital highways, and data driven road safety governance. His work has helped shape the backbone of India's modern transport ecosystem. Mr. Srivastava, it's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
When we hear about tolls, the first thing that comes to our mind is long queues and maybe involvement of a lot of cash that is there, a lot of unorganization that we've seen all these years. Anyone, any citizen traveling through an highway, he only worried about tolls. In all this scenario, how did you think of implementing a system like FASTag? And what was the thought behind it?
Thank you very much, Tanvi, and thanks for the nice introduction you gave. Um, the journey of FASTag started. It's not that suddenly we thought of something and we started. There was a long queues as we were building more and more highways, and thanks to the government leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and Mr. Gadkari, man, highway man of India, is popularly known as. We have been building highway at a very brisk pace, almost 30 kilometer a day. So every year 10,000, 12,000 kilometers of highways are made, and mostly are the toll.
Yeah.
At toll plaza, being a cash collection, the average time for crossing a toll was calculated by a committee, and it was reported in parliament also, was around 8 minutes, 8 minutes 43 seconds. That was an average. And if a commuter has to cross 4 5 toll plaza, the time spent is nearly an hour.
That's too much.
Yeah, that was too much. And in fact, that was dampening the impact of good road which were being built by the government. So government decided that why don't we move towards the in electronic toll collection system. And then this idea of FASTag came. And in the FASTag, there was a deliberation what kind of electronic toll collection India should adopt, because globally there are two three kind of electronic toll collection. One is RFID based, which we adopted finally, and we named it as a FASTag.
Yes.
But there are another system globally available was a satellite based system, though it was very nascent. Only a few countries have adopted.
Yes.
European I mean, some of the countries has adopted was the DSRC, short range communication. So they embed transporters on the highways at regular interval, which communicates at a low frequency with the vehicles, and an onboard unit is fitted into the vehicle. So that was another. Then there is a committee headed by Mr. Nandan Nilekani, and we evaluated all these things. Finally, it was concluded that considering the Indian population, Indian paying capacity, and the other factors, the FASTag, the RFID based system, which is a passive RFID, which gets activated when it comes in the contact of the reader. So reader can be placed at toll plaza, and this passive FASTag sticker can be put on the vehicle. It gets active when it is there. So this suits best because it's a very low cost. Yes. That sticker FASTag doesn't cost much. Even manufacturing of the best quality costs less than 50 rupees. And when we were doing this, most of the banks were offering it free because they were earning more from the transaction money, which was linked to that.
So it became a business for them.
It became, yes. Yeah. Subsequently, because that transaction money, they used to get some operational charges on that was taking care. So the journey was long, but then this was the FASTag. I mean, it took that calculated, discussed, and proper way to.
And how was it shifting from cash operations to a accounting based this thing? I know for a fact that yes, highway data is very important. Now with the FASTag systems implemented, I think the data coming for, say, to prepare highway expansion plans, earlier it was because as a consultant we have done those surveys.
Correct.
Earlier it was managed
Yes,
to
yes.
do ATCC surveys.
Absolutely.
But still, at the local level, how could you manage to shift from people using cash to an accounting based debit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Tanmay. That's a good question. So let me just tell about the FASTag actually. It is not just a revolution to electronic toll system, but it's basically, you can say it was a nation's first mobility digital platform, which was implemented at a nationwide. And this led to three things. Not only the reducing the queues on the toll plaza, which I said from 8 minutes to now less than a minute, 30-40 seconds only, and that too with the next generation of ETC coming in, multi-lane free flow and the satellite based tolling going forward. It will be totally a free flow kind of system, no stoppage at plaza at all. So this laid a backbone for that. Number one. Second, as you rightly said, so it started generating the data as well.
Yes.
So we moved from the system where things were manually collected, the counting were done. So it solved many problems, as you rightly said. So that as a consultant, you has to do a survey to identify the number of traffics on this. Now with the FASTag program implemented, 95% of traffic, the people using it, we have a fair amount of data available for almost every stretch of highway or the road and every toll plaza.
Yeah.
And with the AI, it can be extrapolated with a fair accuracy.
Traffic projections can be estimated
Exactly.
pretty well in
Absolutely.
advance.
And it gives you almost real time
Yes.
view into what is happening at the plaza. It not only enhances the transparency, but it also resolves a lot of gives insight for the policy makers to decide the expansion at the appropriate time.
Yes.
Earlier, when we used to come, I mean, you as a renowned consultant, you must be aware. Then government, there were the norms like if your 10,000 PCUs has crossed, then government will order a consultant to look into things and suggest expansion, widening of that. 25,000, then go for another expansion and all. So after crossing and doing this survey, it used to take a year by the time
Hmm.
traffic has further gone up.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's a real time. We are literally watching every day what
Yes.
is happening, not only the traffic but also the collection as well.
Yeah, the classic example is the Mumbai Pune Expressway.
Correct.
So, our chairman, Mr. Dandate, he was working in MSRDC at that time when Mumbai Pune Expressway was being built. And then, as a consultant, we prepared the DPR for the missing link, which
Correct.
is now going to come. But the DPR that we prepared was in 2012.
Exactly.
And it is being operated now 2026. It'll start. It'll open to the public. So many years it took only because maybe the surveys took long. There was a lot of forest, CRZ, etc. involvement.
Correct.
But the cost impact at that time, if it would have been constructed at 2015 or 16, the cost was much lesser than it is
Absolutely.
now that it is being constructed.
Exactly.
Even these decisions can be taken faster with
Absolutely,
digital
because you have
infrastructure.
data,
Yeah.
there are AI platform, the decision
Yes.
can be taken on the fly immediately.
Yes.
And not only, see, just you mentioned around 14 years it took
Yes.
to come into the
Commissioning.
commissioning. This could have been done long back.
Yes.
And just see the logistic cost incurred by
Yeah.
India, the safety related issues which were there.
Yes.
So all these could haven't taken place if so the system is going to improve all the decision making, safety, reducing the logistic
Yeah.
cost and convenience as
Yeah.
well.
And what were the challenges you faced while this was being implemented at institutional level? We all understand the public problems that were there that are being discussed at large. But what happens behind those doors when such major decisions are being taken?
Yeah. So technology per se was not a challenge for implementing the FASTag. It was a simple known technology already implemented in various countries. India, we are very good in technology adoption. As I said, it was the first mobile digital platform, mobility related digital platform for the country. So technology was not a
Not so much
challenge
of
at
a
all.
problem. Yeah.
The challenge was the institutional, how we are going to implement it. So there were two, if I say, the major players into
Yeah.
it. One, the existing highway operators
Yes.
or the
Concessionaires.
concessionaires who are there. Second was the users, how users are going to take it. Let me talk first about the users. So users also, there were not much challenge because users were already suffering with the huge queues at the toll plaza. Many a times we have come across in the metros or the toll plaza which were near, people were missing their flights, the ambulance stuck in the toll plaza, late reaching to the hospitals, and the safety lives of people were compromised. So the people were already ready. They were waiting for such system to come and they should immediately switch on. So they came very fast. The challenge came from the other institutions. And that institution comprises three major players, if I say. One was the concessionaire or the highway operators. Second was the banks, because it was ultimately a transaction system. And third were the other players who were putting the system on the lines of there. So, and for different people there was a different solutions. And another challenge was the safety security of the data which is being generated, and the ownership of the data. Fourth was the for the institutions, if I talk, let's say concessionaire or the contractor, though they wanted it to be done, but it's a normal psychology. They wanted to reduce the change, number one, because people were not very much prepared for this. Secondly, nobody wanted to lose the autonomy or the transfer.
The revenue visibility
revenue,
also.
I won't say that. But yes, manual, they had some certain control. So losing that control where something that it was like they're losing something. So that
autonomy factor.
that autonomy was there. And the third was the security of the data.
Yes.
So they have to ensure that data is properly stored, it is
Yes.
secure, because that can lead to
Yes.
and the ownership of data.
Mm-hmm.
So these were the certain challenges, and then training the manpower which were actually trained to the manual system to electronic system.
That is
Those
also a
were the
challenge.
real challenge.
So FASTag involved integration of so many stakeholders together: the banks, the concessionaires, even consultants to a small extent, and it provided futuristic data. It improved congestions at the tolling. I personally have traveled as a citizen across so many highways that are being developed, and I think half an hour to 45 minutes have been saved if there are four tolls coming on the road, and that's a big advantage that there is there.
We people in India have seen people are very friendly, and they are
Hmm.
very more adoptive of the technologies than the
Hmm.
Western world.
Okay.
For example, say FASTag program,
Hmm.
it is adopted, used by 95% of the vehicles which are plying on the highways. This is the globally biggest electronic toll collection anywhere. Even in most of the developed countries, the penetration is not beyond 90%, whereas we have 95. With such a large population, 150 crore rupees transaction is done through this platform. Over 60,000 crore rupees are collected annually this year. It may, and it's
Further
it will keep on
increasing.
increasing. Uh, so the challenge which you had asked initially, the institutions, once they understand the thing, they also come forward, and they are very good to adopt as well. Not only the users. So here I will say the it happens with almost all the digital platforms anywhere in the globe, that the platform doesn't fail, the digital system does not fail because of technology. It fails because of institutions, because institutions change in institution is slower than the changing a code. So we change the code, system is ready.
Yeah.
But the institution has to learn. The people,
Yes.
institution means people and the entire system.
Yes.
So approach should be to improve this thing. And parallelly, code is of course can always be modified. And with AI, you don't require any code at all.
Yes, right. So at the end, it is the public who's going to use this infrastructure, and when it comes to public usage, safety is very important. So coming to our second segment, when we talk about road safety, and you've been a pioneer in that sector as well. So but at the same time, there is a dream like Vikasit Bharat 2047, where speed is also the speed of construction. I remember before 2014 or 15, the speed of construction was 13 kilometers per day. Now it has tripled, or maybe four times also. So at the same time, where dreams are being seen, they are being fulfilled, a lot of money involvement is there, but at the end, there is safety of the public, of the end user. So how do we ensure that, how does government ensure that there is a balance between the both?
There is no compromise on safety first. Speed is okay, but if we with a speed we make unsafe road, then we are not making infrastructure. Rather, we are creating a deferred liability. And unfortunately, that is happening currently, because you see the current scenario. We over 1.7 lakh people are dying on Indian roads, as per the recorded figures. Many people say this is underreported, and the real figures are much higher. uh, Without going into those debates whether it is correct, no, even 1.7 lakh people,
It's too high.
is too high. Almost every 15 minutes, by the time we are doing this podcast, few people might have died on Indian roads somewhere. So that's the big number. This is happening because we are building a system without taking care of other humanistic behaviors. As I said, the system, digital system, any system doesn't fail because of the technology or per se the speed of construction. It fails because the system has to adopt it faster. So we are making at a brisk pace, but the people, the driving behavior is not improving at that pace. So people getting a normal highway, they are just cruising through at high speed. Some design failures, system failures. So there is no trade-off that this is
Hmm.
speed versus.
Yeah.
It has to be
Balance of both.
balance of both. Rather, I would say priority should be given. Over
Yeah.
3.5% of GDP
Hmm.
is lost because of road fatalities in India.
Yeah.
There is the study done by IIT
Hmm.
Delhi and Trip Center.
Hmm.
So if that is the loss, and we are spending almost 3% on building the infrastructure,
Hmm.
if we put highway, railways,
Hmm.
and other sectors put together, aviation, everything, India spends around 11 lakh crore rupees every year
Yes.
on building highway, which tend amounts to roughly 3% of GDP. So whatever we are investing in GDP to build infra, we are depleting it by road safety.
Yes.
So that's not a
Right.
big
Yes. Yes.
combination.
So how does government ensure that safety is being taken care? What happens at the government decision making level?
So this has to be thought from a bigger leadership point, where we shouldn't just think that. So currently, what we are trying to do, we are building at where we require, because for the development of country, we require highways. And since we are aiming by 2047, India has to be a developed nation.
Yes.
That means it has to have requisite infrastructure.
Yes.
So we have to build it fast. There is
Yes.
no compromise on that.
Yes.
We have to even build faster than what we are currently making, 30 kilometer, and as honorable minister say, we should construct at the rate of 100 kilometer a day,
Yes.
so that we achieve that. And that's very much required, because we are still far behind the developed countries
Yes.
in logistic or the infrastructure readiness. So we have, but at the same time, what we should look into, where we are lacking currently, so we are just measuring number of kilometers, projects completed, cost overruns or cost. Rather than this, let's move to the system approach, where we should say how many lives has been saved, what has been the final outcome, how much carbon emission has been reduced.
Yes.
So those are the main parameters. The outcome oriented parameter should be.
Yeah, I think our honorable minister Gadkari ji, he's not only looking at the speed, but actually the fuel that is being used in the cars.
True.
He personally does a lot of research in what kind of fuels and what kind of emissions are going to be generated from those cars and how it is going to affect the pollution. So when it comes to infrastructure, it's not just about the roads being built, it's about the cars also, it's about the citizen also who's driving that car, the behavior of the driver.
Exactly.
That's also very important.
So why safety is an issue, and as we discussed, there's a 3% loss to the GDP, and so many people dying on road. If you look in the overall total perspective, the life cycle cost and other thing, the two things which emerges. One, we made the road at a very brisk pace, and in currently our road network is second largest in the globe.
Yes.
Spanning around 6.4 million kilometers. We are the third biggest manufacturer of the vehicles.
Yes.
I mean, after USA, China, China is number one, US, and then we are third. With such a, and the vehicles which are coming are also very high speed and fully equipped. Where we lagged, and that's the reason why I always insist that technology has to come take a bigger step into the entire ecosystem now. We didn't train the drivers. Their pace has been, as I said, the coding is faster than changing the mindset of people. So we made the highways brisk pace, we opened the market, and the vehicles got flooded into India. I mean, we still need the vehicles in India. If you there is a scale, is we have only 32 cars per 1,000 population, whereas globally this average is more than 300 in developed. So it has to go 10x at least to meet those standards.
Yeah.
That means more vehicles are going to come.
Yes.
That means, and if the same thing continues, that's also going to multiply the road fatalities. That's the unfortunate. Our driving license issue system was outdated.
Yeah.
Now government has now modified it using the IoT, which is actually tracking.
Yes.
Earlier, getting license was the easiest part probably in India. I will share an example. I had a driving license for more than 15 years, and I went for a course to USA. It was a MBA course I was doing in one of the premium institute in USA. though I carried my international license, which was from my made in Indian
The IDP.
system, yeah, IDP. But when I went there, I was asked to appear for a test and get a driving license
International
in
driving
California,
license.
international
Yeah.
driving. I took it lightly, very frankly, and though my nephew, my brother lives in US, they're citizen. He told me that Chachu, you read it because it's a tough exam. Many people fail in the driving license system. I took it lightly and I appeared, and unfortunately I failed. Yeah, after driving 15 years in India, and that was not that was an eye opener to me.
Eye-opener,
And
yes.
then I have to, of course, I studied, went through all their regulations, and next 15 days I cleared it. But I'm just saying, in India, getting license was simpler. Number
Yeah.
one, enforcement, we didn't automate the enforcement. Now a policy has come from the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways on 28 October recently, on the behest of Supreme Court Committee of India on Road Safety, that electronic enforcement is mandatory. That has to be default. You have to move away from the manual enforcement, which is less effective, marred with the human mistakes and the malpractices. It has to be a fully automated e-challan based system,
Yes.
where every violator is identified and punished. So these things has to happen.
Yeah.
When we are, so this has to happen parallelly also. And here technology can play a big role.
Yes.
The technology, for example, I will share one example: ADAS system. ADAS system is it's a driver assistant system. The technology, AI and IoT, they predict the environment. They look at the surrounding and assist the driver. I will
A traffic simulation.
You can
Kinda,
say. I
yeah.
will give an example
Yeah.
to make more clear to
Yeah.
the viewers. We were doing a pilot. We were demonstrating how ADAS system can improve the road safety. So this was a pilot. The drive and this ADAS system which we have placed there was very simple. A small device which is put on the windscreen, and it has two cameras. One inward looking camera which looks at the driver and the sees the alertness of the driver, seat belt. If I am looking alert, I'm looking in front or not sideways and all, and keeps on alerting the driver if something is not proper or violation. The front looking camera looks at the objects ahead of this, the vehicles and everything. And if my vehicle is about in the danger zone to collide, it gives a buzzer alert. And the drivers were told that when you alert this front camera collision, just put the brake and stop the vehicle so that collision is prevented. We were watching were looking at the reports of this pilot. We saw one driver. He was continuously talking to somebody on the left hand side, maybe his friend,
co-passenger.
Co-passenger friend, and the inward looking camera was alerting that you are distracted. So looking at the alert, he will again look at the straight, and then after some time switching. This happened multiple times. In meanwhile, one two-wheeler just comes in front of the vehicle from some lane, and that was in the danger zone of collision, and front and the ADAS alert was there. So driver immediately put the full brake, stopped the vehicle. The bus just touched the vehicle, and fortunately there was a very minor injury. Nothing happened. No. But I was showing this video to Honorable Minister and Delhi government and other senior officers. Many of them were shocked. They said, no, don't show it. I think it's leading to a fatal accident. I said, no, sir, I'm not going to show you this. I'm just demonstrating how technology saved one life, probably. Now, another technology has been very recently, you must have heard Honorable Minister talking about V2V. Connected vehicle.
Yes.
So this is a fantastic technology. Yes. Now with V2V, what is going to happen? The vehicles will be communicating with each other. And if one vehicle is slowing down, the other vehicle behind comes to know something is happening. Some vehicle is stopping, it is. So there is sufficient warning. Next improvement will be this is getting connected to the, right now there will be warning,
Hmm.
but next it will take control of the system also,
Yeah.
and it will slow down the vehicle itself. Going forward is going to be the connected infrastructure and vehicle ecosystem developed,
Yes.
where you need not look at the signages. The signage is IoT driven.
Yes.
Here speed limit is 40. So instead of driver looking at sign and reducing or may not reduce because it's the subjectivity of the driver, the vehicle, the sign itself will reduce the vehicle. It will communicate to the vehicle, reduce it to 40. So just look at the thing, how it's going to improve.
Yes. And here it's very important that yes, government is building all these things, but there is an equal responsibility of the citizens also. Because I've seen, I was just talking to one of my friend the other day about, we had gone on a long drive,
Okay.
and my car was giving continuous alerts about whatever you said. Those alerts were coming in my car. Driver is feeling drowsy, driver is feeling distracted. So there was a point where it becomes irritating. Okay. And
So
because
just
we were
switch it
talking
off.
in the car, so one of my friend was like, "अरे ये wire तूने काटा क्यों नहीं?" So now we know that no, you don't have to cut that wire.
Yeah.
It is for your safety. It is for the
Exactly.
public safety that is there.
Exactly.
So citizens are also equally
They have to.
responsible.
Yes,
Citizens
yes.
have to take responsibility when it comes to road safety as well. Driver behavior, in fact, is more important than the infrastructure also being built.
Yeah.
So when we are talking about human behavior and all these aspects, there is with AI coming up, and you are being a pioneer in that as well. AI in mobility, in traffic management. So is AI going to replace manpower requirement? Because today a young engineer passing out from his college and entering in this infrastructure era, a golden infrastructure era, I would say. So he is worried that मेरा job तो नहीं चला जाएगा. So is it so that whatever AI advancements are happening in infrastructure sector today, is it going to reduce the manpower requirement?
It's a very good question. Again, then it's not going to. Number one, straight answer is no, it's not. Rather, it's going to increase the manpower. I will draw an analogy back to some time. When the banking reforms were happening, the digitization of banking transactions were happening 2.5 decades earlier. Similar kind of concerns were raised. That was, and that time when the digital transactions, financial systems were being introduced, many people said the jobs will be lost because all transactions will be done digitally. Look at the figures actually. 2.5 years back, the number of people employed in the financial sector vis-a-vis the number of people employed
back
into the
then.
banking system of finance currently, it's more than 25x. So rather it didn't reduce anything, rather it multiplied the job opportunities. And same thing is going to happen in the infrastructure field as well, or any other field related where AI or
Is
the
being
technology is implemented. But it will add many new jobs, and a little better skilling is
So you
required.
have to become smarter.
People has to become smarter, continuously keep on learning, because we are in a digital age where things are moving very fast.
Yes.
And we have to keep that pace. Anybody.
Yeah.
So just thinking that I have known this, I have been doing this for 20 years and I will also continue to do for next 20 years, that mindset has to change.
Yeah.
Just keep on learning, and
You have to adopt with the changing world, with the changing generation.
Absolutely.
That's the only
and
key.
the AI is going to make our life simpler, easier, faster.
Human judgment is going to remain the crux of everything, because whatever AI is generating, there has to be some validation at the end, which has to be given by the human mind itself.
Though there are agentic AI coming in for validation also, but ultimately at the end of it is the human.
Yes. So moving on to our next segment, where we talk about leadership and vision. Like you rightly said, that today's young engineers need not worry that AI is going to replace human behavior. At the same time, we want these young engineers to take up leadership roles also in the infrastructure sector. And there are so many lucrative opportunities. But what is one leadership trait that may be missing today, but these young engineers can adopt for the future of infrastructure?
If I talk about the infrastructure leadership, what is one of the crucial missing thing is we have to change our mindset from just focusing on a project, delivering on time, to a system approach. We have to look at the life cycle cost of the projects. We have to look at the saving lives, doing something environment friendly. So those things has to come into the framework when we, as a leaders, we are thinking through. There are initial resistance. That's bound
That is
to be.
everywhere.
That's everywhere. So initially there may be a pushback from organization, but long-term validations are there. So the young leaders should be prepared for these things. That they should look. They should be the leaders to change this mindset. They should be the leaders to prepare for the initial pushback and prepare themselves. But they're not going to be cowed down by this. They will continue to pursue with a clear aim what they have, and ultimately it is a validation. It once the job or the project is completed, it gets a bigger validation than the initial shortcome things. So that's the one key lesson I will say. Second, I will add, do not get scared. Jobs are not going taken by AI or the technology. It's rather it's making your job easier. Is going to be making you more rewarding. Number of people are going to increase. Employability is going to increase. Third thing which is going to do to the younger generation, since you asked this question, I was talking to one of the IIT Bombay convocation, where the students, especially civil engineering student, asked me this question, that I mean, the charm of civil engineering is decreasing year on year. Now even IITs, the students they're the first, they try to switch the branch as early as
Computer
possible.
or IT.
Computer, IT, or even they change. If they get somewhere else, maybe at NIT or other colleges in computer science, they prefer go there rather than pursuing in civil engineering from the top premier institutes like IIT. So what should be done? So I gave them a lesson that in the current digital age, you have to learn digital skill as well. So you have to learn the concrete mixing design as well as coding. Both has to marry together to make you more lucrative.
What have been your leadership lessons along the way of your career?
See, the two things I will say. Number one, when you start something new, there will be an initial resistance. As a leader, we have to be prepared for that. We have to convince people. There is no need of avoiding or fighting or something. If you are on a correct path, be confident on that yes, this is the correct thing, and be ready for the listening to the people as well. I may be wrong, I needs to be corrected by the people. So keep your eyes and ears open. That's what I learned when I was doing many of the programs. We have to take people together. The aim should be very clear, what actually I am looking for. Be ready for initial pushback from the people, but be confident that once the things are done, the validations are much higher than the initial pushbacks.
And when dreams like Vikasit Bharat 2047 are being announced, we see India moving towards smart roads, and you're playing a vital role there. So, what dream would you like to give the public, say, when they are traveling on the roads of 2047? What can they expect?
I'll say the smart road, which we are envisioning, will be in the 2047 or even earlier also. The journey has started. Maybe in 5 to 7 years, we will see things transformation, visible transformation. Right? Backend preparations are already on. When we talk about infra, the current infrastructure is a passive infrastructure where we have to look at the infra and identify something is wrong, look at the signages, and then understand what it is conveying the message and all. The futuristic infrastructure is going to be the smart and intelligent. They are going to communicate with the users, with the vehicles. That's the number one. And how it is can be done through ATMS, through connected infrastructure system. those are the technological
Advancements.
advancement will taking place. It will be so. It is going to have the sensors built into the infrastructure. Those sensors will be communicating smartly, identifying the difficulties, challenges, and so self-monitoring and
Yes.
self-correcting itself.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the future of the
Yeah, yeah.
infrastructure.
I think there's one line by John F. Kennedy, which our chairman uses quite often, that America is rich because their roads are richer. And I feel the dream of 5 trillion economy that our honorable Prime Minister has seen, if roads are built in the way we have discussed in this episode, I think not 5 trillion economy but 10 trillion economy will be achievable very soon, because infrastructure is going to play a major role in that. So,
Absolutely.
and India will become richer when roads become safer and smarter.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the saying of the John F. Kennedy, it
Yes.
is in Honorable Minister's office.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
written on a big on bold
Yeah.
letter that America is the American roads are not good because America is richer, but
Yeah.
America is richer
Because the roads are
American
good.
roads are good.
Yes.
And that's in fact 100% true.
Yeah.
The multiplier effect of investing in infrastructure is between 2.8 to 3.2% as of now. So it's nearly 3 times.
Yes.
You invest single rupee, the multiplier effect in GDP is going to be nearly 3 times.
Yes.
That was the old, but the new infrastructure which we are just
Yes.
talking, the digital and smart infra, their multiplying effect will be even more. We
Yeah.
have to add to access to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to
It may be 10
data.
times also.
Maybe 5
Yeah.
times or even more.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Let's move on to our last segment now, where we discuss more about the public questions, and we want rapid answers from you, and we call this segment Public Wants to Know.
Right.
So these are the most Googled questions on public related to smart digital infrastructure. So here goes the first question. Why does India still have one of the highest road accidents in spite of world-class highways being built?
Short answer is we outpaced the road construction and the vehicle than improving the driver behavior and enforcement. There is a gap between the pace of highway construction and vehicle on the road than the human upgradation.
Yeah.
So that's the one of the reason, and
Yeah.
we can augment this gap with the help of technology.
With the help of technology, whatever we discussed, I think it can be mitigated. Beautiful. What's one biggest misconception about the digital infrastructure being built? FASTag was just the beginning.
Yeah.
So what is still one big misconception that is there?
Yeah. Generally, people think that with FASTag the digitization is complete.
Yeah.
No, that's not. That was just beginning. There are many more milestones. That was the stepping stone. Now, next thing coming is AI-based ATMS,
Yeah.
multi-lane, free flow, going forward to the satellite-based, distance-based tolling, connected vehicle ecosystem. So the more digital platform has to come.
And if there was one simple change that every citizen can make with these advancements going on, what would it be? That what should every citizen using that infrastructure should do?
Respect the speed limit, because speed is the biggest villain in the entire road safety ecosystem. A minor increase in speed, the probability of fatality increases by many folds.
I think this was wonderful, and we had some beautiful insights for the viewers, for the audience, and for every citizen of India today. And before I let you go, I want you to give one message to the young generation in maybe one line. Whoever is watching this episode and who can feel inspired to come into this infrastructure field.
My single message will be love the technology, but don't be fascinated with the single technology. Technology is a means. Look at the outcome, what technology is bringing, and that will be your bigger purpose. And that outcomes can be saving lives, making sustainable, safe roads, zero carbon emission. Look at the bigger picture at the back end and use technology as a fascination or as a tool to achieve those things. As we close today's dialogue, one thing becomes clear. Infrastructure is no longer just about what we build.
but how intelligently and responsibly we built it. And to everyone watching and listening, thank you for joining us on the Infra Dialogues, where we bring you conversations that build the future. Until the next episode, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep building forward.